faster than ours because they called GG at 17 minutes ago. So there is a match now.
Yeah, looks like then I'm in here, blue. So just like that, we are finally in our final match of weekly tournament number 7. As none other than Tsubaki-chan. I think you guys are quite familiar with him. Will he be our first ever 3-time champion, or will IndieBear, I think they're teammates here, will IndieBear and Tsubaki's dream here in the finals? I know if they're playing really well. We'll see how these games will play out. Remember, it is still a best of 3, so these players will be able to adapt and make some changes.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of win or lose, Tsubaki wins or lose, I just want to say he has convinced me. I mean, he's made me a Tataru believer. Absolutely, before this, I was like, Tataru, I guess it could be useful, but absolutely, he's proven me wrong. Being neutral type does not do anything when you can just stoneball a Gaialis to the graveyard. So, absolutely crazy plays with the Tataru.
Yeah, really good play. So good that IndieBear does nothing to deal with it and wants to insta-ban the Tataru. So ban it is, and Tsubaki returns a favor and bans the Mastion there. So Tsubaki getting to play the Gaialis for the first time we've seen. And starting things off with Rise for IndieBear. Who's he going to join him for the turn 1 play? Will be the Wimplump. So are we going to get as classic can get? It seems that we will. So Gaialis Kinu start quite the feat to get over. We'll see how IndieBear wants to maneuver his Tems in a way to try to defeat this. It's so tough. I mean, you get an Embers off on the Rise. The Gaialis, you know, Rise isn't the most hard-hitting Embers compared to things like Mastion. So he's going to be able to tank it. And, you know, there's no turn 1 move from the Wimplump that's going to be hitting the Gaialis that hard. So pretty much a free heat up there.
Yeah, I mean, IndieBear is running probably, IndieBear's running a control opening here. I doubt he has, I believe, Water Jet, is it? I believe, Wimplump learned something that has fire synergy. I doubt that's the case here. I'm most likely just
high water pressure has the fire synergy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, high water pressure, but I don't think Wimplump doesn't learn that. Never.
I know his turn 1 is usually only Ice Shuriken. They usually have the Cold Breeze. I mean, on hold they have the Tornado and Sharp Rains, but that's not going to go down till turn 2, turn 3. But IndieBear getting the Gaialis of his own, so we might be seeing a little bit of a battle of Gaialises. The only difference is Tsubaki's getting that turn 1 heat up, and Indy's going to have to try to squeeze it in on a swap.
And another difference here is that Indy has a Mashuk to deal with a Fire Tem and a Gaialis. And Tsubaki has Pig Epic and Grandpa to deal with the Mashuk. Obviously, looking at both rosters, I would favor Indy here a little bit, especially considering his variety. It's just better variety to deal with Tsubaki-chan here, but we'll see. Obviously, variety means nothing if you lose your Tems way too quickly.
Very much so, but just like that, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a little bit of a long day, but we are here. We are here in our finals. Tsubaki-chan, IndieBear getting things started for us to see how they want to pull the trigger for this turn 1. I'm assuming none other than the heat up Gaialis. And I'm curious, let's see what Tsubaki-chan has in the back line. We might get the pig swap in for Kinu. Because there's not too much Kinu is going to do. Maybe a Beta Burst do a little damage, but we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, Beta Burst it was. Just trying to do a little bit damage. You know, every little bit of damage counts. But the heat up is there, so I'm assuming we get an Embers onto the Gaialis. Fire Flame. Okay.
Flame.
Fire Flame.
Jinx there as yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, Ice Cube. I tried to Ice Cube the Kinu as well. Has freeze applied to it, but interesting. Not on the Gaialis. Obviously, resistant makes it a bit harder to freeze it in place, but still, Tsubaki gets a free heat up here, and Indy has basically net gained nothing. as far as I can see, and Ice Cube is extremely susceptible to being knocked out instantly here.
Yeah, and understand that decides to be switched into the Mashuk that can tank a little bit more physical pressure. But Hypnosis onto the Mashuk, so I mean, it wasn't doing anything this turn, so not too bad there. But the double heat up, understand there's no pressure on the board. The double heat up is dirty, but Fire Flame trying to connect, but at 70% thanks to the Kinu there. But Kinu's still here, he's not pressured. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Revitalize.
Exactly. I mean, just no punish. There's nothing IndieBear can do to punish that. I mean, yes, the Mashuk could have eaten a hit, but in Indie, obviously, assuming Crystal Bite or something was gonna come out, but Tsubaki says no, I'll just heat up again. There's nothing you can contest me with. And Tsubaki now does, I believe, triple damage to the Gaialis, which means Haito. I don't want to jinx it, but it should insta-give anything it does. Of course, its only weakness is stamina, so simply has to wait and listen. Tsubaki simply has to wait and listen, and it will do a lot. Beta Burst on the Mashuk as well, gonna do some massive damage.
Going down to 65, Fire Tornado most likely on the Kinu, unless it was thinking the Gyalis. Okay, so thinking it was going to stay in, so does it actually a good amount for fire against fire. So it looks like I have a feeling why IndieBear is running Fire Flame instead of Embers. I think his TVs are a little bit more specialized in special attacks, so he might be getting a little bit more damage off with that Fire Flame as opposed to Embers. That's the only reasoning I could think of. What do you think, Blue? You think he has a lot of special attack, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, in first glance, Fire Flame does decent damage, but Embers is the key note on in terms of the damage output from Embers versus Fire Flame. Because Fire Flame doesn't apply Embers, but well, Embers does, right? So you sort of have to balance out what does more damage, either the 6% or just a flat Fire Flame damage. And looking at this, it looks like Turbo Choreograph as well from the Mashuk. Interesting.
Yeah, Turbo, so it's a little bit more of a support Mashuk, but Beta Burst is going to do another 35%, so down to 30% it is. And Embers, the burn won't be enough, but down to 10-11% it is. However, the Wimplump is here and it's ready to try to get some attacks off, but I'm actually surprised. Usually you get the Kinu swap very first turn, but the Kinu has stayed strong this whole time since the first turn. I mean, the Hypnosis is so good, but Kinu finally running out of some stamina here. We'll probably most likely get the switch. Maybe we'll see the pig.
Yeah, I mean, Kinu completely unpunished, just like the Gaialis as well, so it's just so difficult. I mean, pressing X is not a wonderful sight, because you look at 9 Tems and you look, oh, +2 speed, that's pretty okay, -1 speed, that's not bad. And then you see Gaialis and it says 4 attack, 1 special defense, 1 defense, -1 speed, but if you can, I mean, if Gaialis has to go last, I mean, you know as they say, he's fashionably late, because that's gonna sting.
Yeah, he's ready to clean things up. That's usually what you want to do. You want to save that powerhouse for the very end when you desperately need it. To, close out the biggest threat remaining for IndieBear. So Tsubaki's playing it really well. The Volarant coming out for the side of IndieBear. But now we get the Raiken switching up to the pig. Didn't want to deal with that tsunami. But we do get the ticks of poison. So I see why the Volarant came out. Sorry, the ticks of freeze. So 1 cold breeze on either of these Tems. Most likely looking at the pig to prevent some of those bamboozle shenanigans from going off.
Yeah. I mean, Ice Cube and Kanye on the field gonna drop some dope beats.
They got some bars.
I mean, they gotta have some bars. Try to start dropping some Tems here, because at the moment, both supports on the field, I'm extremely concerned that Tsubaki will just play safely, and IndieBear will just simply be forced to expend stamina.
Yeah, definitely, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a quick Turbo Koro from the pig, just to speed up the Kinu, since it does have the Hypnosis there, just to try to match the Wimplump a little bit for the future. But let's see. I mean, IndieBear still has the Gyalis on the back. I don't think it's gonna be getting out of control like Tsubaki-chan's Gyalis, but the Hypnosis comes out, so Volan won't be getting attack off this turn.
Neither will Kinu. Kinu is frozen as well. So 1v1 between the Pig and the Wimplump. Obviously Wimplump is faster, so the Pig Epic might freeze. I don't think Tsubaki really cares much, but he's better start caring, because if this is the happening, you can just Tsunami Cold Breath and the cycle continues.
Definitely. I could see, I mean, +2 speed on the Wimplump maybe outspeeds the Pig. I actually didn't get to see it. Actually, you know, it did. Cold Breeze did go before the Pig, so it definitely could freeze the Pig if he wants. And look, Blue, the Kinu's actually standing still. Remember when we saw this on the Rise? The Rise was still moving. You remember, Blue? It's kind of off topic.
What's his face?
Rise.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Oh, right, the Rise. No, yep. So interesting there.
And here we go. The raid boss, none other than Gyalis, comes out to play, but gonna get a Tsunami, so the Pig will be frozen, but it's gonna get unfrozen since it's just that one turn. But maybe did the Tsunami to try to freeze the Gyalis from getting a turn for the following turn.
Yeah. I mean, Gyalis now coming out, obviously resistance allows it to be slightly frozen, but now with the Wimplump, now, can you just perma-freeze the Gyalis here? I mean, there isn't a rule to prevent you from perma-freezing an opponent here at this point. Obviously, Tsubaki will probably start considering negating the Wimplump's effects on this. I mean, we did see, I believe it was Fox versus Indie. It went to turn 30 and all Temps were still available, so we might see some sort of stuff like that, but we'll have to wait. Turbo Choreograph from the Pig as well, and Tsubaki understands he has to start matching the speed of this Wimplump, or he will be stuck in frozen hell.
Exactly. I think he's trying to match the speed with the Pig. That way his Hypnosis will be going off on the Wimplump before the Cold Breeze to try to lock down that from, you know, the endless cycle from those constant freeze ticks. But yeah, speaking of which, the Grandpa has 2 on him right now, so another Cold Breeze will be making him stand still. But the Pig, I believe, I mean, it does run Hypnosis and the Kinu another Hypnosis target, but if you take down the Pig,
I wouldn't be surprised if IndieBear used Kanye to eat a Fainted Curse, because that would mean Hypnosis would be shut down. Yes, you have Kinu for that, but still, if you let this Wimplump freeze you to death, there is that issue. I think Tsunami is actually faster than Hypnosis, so Pig Epic just might die, and Grandpa will be frozen, and Tsubaki can't do anything here. And that's my concern at this moment for Tsubaki. I believe Nami is available now. And this is so crazy. We'll actually swap out Wimplump here. Interesting.
Yeah, had plenty stamina, but decides to go with a double switch just to be a little bit more unpredictable maybe. So Gyalis Mashuk comes out. We get the turbo, so definitely the Pig is indeed faster than the Wimplump as it stands. And we got the Hypnosis onto the Gyalis, so won't be resting. It will just wake up this next turn. It does get the alert status though.
Gyalis resistant to anything, basically. I don't think any crowd control really affects Gyalis that much, and that's the best part about Gyalis. Aside from that, now the Mashuk really susceptible here. Tsubaki-chan understanding that he has to fight speed with more speed, and plays the game Indie wanted to play, aka just get as fast as possible. Now, obviously, far ahead in terms of speed means that he will have access to more utility.
Definitely, and we did see Tsubaki-chan is running Ashi Dashi on the Pig, so maybe he wants to go out with one of those attacks onto the Gyalis. But I wouldn't be surprised if just the Grandpa tries to go with a quick Wind Burst to knock down the Mashuk for now.
I thought Indy would be able to stall this out. Obviously, still has access to the Rise. Maybe able to swap in the Rise for the Mashuk and slow it down. Maybe that way. But yeah, in the current position we are at, Indy basically has well, not dropped his lead, but definitely has slowed down his methods of basically keeping the board frozen and slow down the game as much as possible.
So not trying to get eaten by the Wimburst, switching into the Wimplump, maybe eating up a wind move here. So Wimburst did go into the Mashuk, so Wimplump will be eating that. We get a Bamboozle. Where's it going? Bamboozle onto the Grandpa. And okay, no heat up for it, and just wants to eat the Fainted Curse there. So a little bit unpredictable, if I do say so myself. I thought we would get a heat up. But Crystal Bite onto the Pig, no more Bamboozle action for Tsubaki-chan. That might be pretty favorable for IndieBear. We will see how it plays out though.
Kinu is still available for Hypnosis plays. Grandpa is faster, but that doesn't really stop Wimplump. I mean, we saw Windburst do some damage onto Wimplump, but I think it can survive a Hyperkinetic, and that's sort of what I'm worried for Tsubaki here, because if that's the case, you could potentially Tsunami Cold Breath again. And repeat the loop. I believe Volarant is still in the back pocket for IndieBear, so I wouldn't be surprised if he froze, but the big bad boss is here. But Wimplump is still faster, and that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, but you can't add two freezes in one turn, so Gialis will be able to get off an attack here. So maybe we'll be depending, maybe a Haido Uchi, maybe a Crystal Bite into the Wimplump to, I think, guarantee kill the +4 here. I think any move from this Gialis should one-shot both of IndieBear's Tems here.
What I'm concerned about is if Tsubaki chooses the wrong targets, because if he gets tornadoed into like Haito, his Gialis is dead, and he'll have to play with the Kinu, Grandpa, and Araiken. Yes, it's not that bad because that would mean if Wimplump is sacked, that would mean that potentially, it would be a decent time, obviously, versus Kanye, Skepta, and Rise, Volarant, and Gialis. So it's a lot of 50-50. And I forgot to note, his Gialis is slow, but doesn't want to risk it at all. Indeed doesn't.
So potentially trying to eat a crystal damage from the Gialis with this Rise. The CAV predicted right, so Hyperkinetic most likely on the Gialis. Let's see where it's taking it down past 30%. Sharp Stab, killing the Bamboozle, and it was, so actually a good play from IndieBear. Understand that most likely going to be taking down the Wimplump, so switch in the fire that resistance. So not too bad, but look at that blue. Did so much damage. Of course, it was a Crystal Bite, the strongest attack from the Gialis, but even with resistance, almost 50%.
Exactly. That's a times 3 Gialis as well. So the biggest thing I want to point out is Gialis losing speed. Right now, it's at -2 speed, and Wimplump is at +2. I mean, basically anything is now faster than this Gialis. So if this Gialis gets any lower, potentially Wimplump could just perma-freeze it, and that's not a scenario you want. And in fact, Tsubaki just wants to make it as tanky as possible to not get to that scenario, but unfortunately, Crystal Bite will predict that Kinu swap in, gets a free kill.
Free kill indeed, so actually really well played from IndieBear. Understand that he wanted to most likely buff up that Gialis a little bit more, so gets the free kill off before the Sharp Stab. From that, Sharp Stab normally being 3 prio would have gone before to prevent the Crystal Bite, but as you mentioned, Blue, that Demoralize showing off why it's so strong in this current game. -2 speed, 3 prio, does not matter. The Crystal Bite goes before, knocking out the Kinu. But yeah, did have to sacrifice his own Gialis for it, but I think it was well worth. I mean, you got rid of the Kinu in one hit.
I'm sure he was satisfied with that. Currently, it's a 4 on 3. Again, the Wimplump still in the back pocket is fast enough to do something. And Mashuk, I forgot completely, it's still alive. So it can still eat a hit. I mean, Grandpa will be forced to Windburst it, at least. I mean, that's expended stamina. Expended stamina is still, still influential. The Mashuk should not have Inner Spirit available. But at 2 speeds, that's rough. I'm not sure. I don't think it has access to anything fast enough to outspeed the wind burst. Because Grandpa is currently at 3 speed.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. I think we're going to get a switch out from the Mashuk as it wants to stay alive maybe a little bit down the road. Unless it wants to take the risk, but I don't think so.
I mean, Tsubaki's best play, I think, is to turbo choreograph this Gaialis. He cannot let this Gaialis get too slower than it already is. If it gets too slow, Indie will just run circles around it. There's literally nothing the Gaialis can do. I was sort of memeing when I said that Gaialis can go last, but seriously, this Gaialis cannot go last. He can't afford that because you have basically every opportunity to kill it before it does anything, and we see that here. He gets the Riken in the field just in case there was any shenanigans there. And also, just one more turbo choreograph for the road.
Yeah, now he goes, so pretty much choosing to sack it there, just trying to get another speed up on the rise.
Oh, that is so rough. Grandpa is getting low, and Wimplup still exists. Yes, it's slower than Grandpa, but what's Grandpa gonna do about it? Hyperkinetic the Wimplup?
Yeah, won't be too effective. Maybe around 15% damage, maybe 20 at the most. But running out of stamina, he would definitely have to overexert quite a bit if he wanted to do a move like that. So I will predict it's probably going to come out, but that would mean the Gialison will have to come back in to replace it. But yeah, actually, IndieBear looking not in a bad predicament as I thought. But we do get the Hypnosis onto the Wimplump, so officially the Grandpa is now faster than the Wimplump. Or sorry, I think I said that. Grandpa now faster than the Wimplump. And Fire Flame almost ending things off for the Grandpa. But we get the spicy Sand Splatter from the Riken.
Unfortunately, Sand Splatter not being as efficient as Tsubaki would have hoped. Now, I mean, he now knows that the Riken will not kill this Rise by its lonesome. I mean, Grandpa can hyperkinetic it, but out of stamina, he will be forced to overexert. And I feel like Tsubaki right now, his Gaialis is in the back pocket. He will get the opportunity to kill the Wimplup, and that's the good news. But that's only if Grandpa dies. So I'm not sure. I mean, it might be a play to keep Grandpa alive so that I don't know. It's just so rough.
I mean, the one thing IndieBear does have going for him is the Volan is still there. Kanye, you know, some might say the greatest of all time, so that's Volar in there. So Kanye is still sitting at 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's the religious Kanye, right? Full defense, so essentially, we'll be ready for that fight. Essentially, to last a longer time. Unfortunately, Gaialis doesn't really care about the special defense there, so it's gonna be a bit rough. But we do still have Ice Cube and Lil Jon. I believe they have made a song before together.
Probably. They've been in the game quite a long time. I wouldn't surprise me. I can't think off the top of my head, but we'll see.
I believe it's like Roll Call or something.
Okay, Blue. Well cultured.
Yeah, just a guess. I don't remember too much, but yeah, something along those lines. Regardless, they will have to make quite a pairing here because again. IndieBear could, again, try and... No, actually, never mind. I was going to say he could wake up the Wimplup to Tsunami, but regardless, will instead pick off the Grandpa as soon as possible. But now, with Rise and Wimplup awake, one of these Tems will do some damage on the Gaialis, and it won't look pretty.
Yeah, we will see. The Gaialis is definitely going to be gaining. We saw how much the Crystal Bite did against the Rise, so that would be even enough to take care of it. But I don't think that's his main concern. I think his main concern is the Wimplump / the potential switch in, which is the Volan. So I'm assuming the Gaialis will be applying all that pressure into that left slot. And Riken's been doing a fantastic job with that Sand Splatter, so I wouldn't be surprised if he rinses and repeats it until the Rise is gone. But Sharp Rain connecting.
This Gaialis too slow. Fire Tornado and Sharp Rain was faster. If Gaialis goes down, it's a big disaster, but it lived.
Oh my god, Blue lived by 0.4.
Crystal Bite will punish the Wimplump's existence. Get him out of my game, you obnoxious little creature. As now Gaialis living there actually turns this around. Now Volan, remember, he can't do anything against Riken without detrimenting his own stats because, I mean, the the Bowler doesn't care about, the Riken doesn't care about special defense, which means Kanye West will have to feather gat brat the Riken if Gyalis will go down here.
And then maybe the Ratra is gonna be enough, but I don't know. I mean, 77% for Riken. I mean, he's still got some Noxious Bomb, depending on how much attack TVs he has. It could be doing a good amount, but Fire Flame goes first. Is you never see it. You never see it rise outspeeding a Gyaz, but we said it all match. Let's see how much. Ooh, okay, that's about 15%. I think 14% or more.
Interesting. It looks like IndieBear is deciding to use Noxious Bomb instead to raise his special defense rather than use Feather Gatling there. I'm not sure if that's the best play because that reduces Hyperkinetic completely. I think it is a better play to just simply Feather Gat the Riken because you don't want to lose special attack surely, so that you can Hyperkinetic later.
The Embers with the burn. So
oh my god, that. Yeah.
Actually, Noxious Bomb was doing a little bit more, so maybe that is the way to go. I think Noxious Bomb was doing more on the rise. I think it's gonna be so close. I mean, the stamina advantage is in IndieBear's favor, but I think the way to go is just Noxious Bomb it all the way through. Of course, it does reduce your Hyperkinetic, but here it is. How much is this gonna do? 26% blue. This is so close, but the burn taking it down to 34. Hold up, blue. This is so close to call. I think the Riken wins. I mean, the Prideful buff giving it that extra 50% damage. Without that Prideful, if this was a motivator, I would, confidently say that Kanye would be taking this. But because of that Prideful buff, I think is so close. Maybe too close to call. We'll see one more time. It's gonna come down
wish I checked
to who attacks first.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to check the math there, but no! IndieBear wins this! Kanye wins this by 2%! There's nothing he can do to stop Hyperkinetic, and because of that sweat bet, he has enough stamina to do so, and Riken is not fast enough to do so! And he lives at 2%!
Oh my god, Blue, that was a comeback and a half. I've never seen anything like that. Well done for IndieBear, getting through that insane Gyalis, even after the Gyalis living at 0.04%, whatever it was. Insane game, Blue. That was such a pleasure to watch.
Tsubaki may be intentionally banning the rise here because, again, that was the biggest reason IndieBear won that fight was due to the fact of that slow into freeze, but no, decides that kill the source of the problem. Screw the rise. I'll kill the source of the problem, aka Whiplump. And obviously IndieBear saying, okay, I had my fun. Let's get rid of the Gyalis. Let's not deal with that shenanigan again. And IndieBear will be facing a Tattler in the opening. Interesting.
Yeah, Tattler opening. I think we saw that last game. I think the Tattler open, or I might be confusing with Shiroki's game, but we have seen it before. Tattler Magnus, so now we know the Stone Ball is indeed there, but doesn't apply too much pressure to either Tem. I mean, physical damage on the Volan is always good. But let's see, Blue, does he want to get rid of the rise? I mean, the speed does not matter too much now that the Gyalis is banned. So does he look at the Gyalis instead?
Well, Indy could match Double Fire with Double Fire. I mean, not like Tsubaki runs any water attempts. So, Indy could potentially run Double Fire here, and there wouldn't be any issues. Obviously, you might want double support instead. I'm not sure how Indy runs Mastion. I don't think we've seen him run Mastion yet. So, maybe potentially have Cage, maybe not. But we will definitely see later.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any Cage from either Tamer. Tsubaki-chan just had the fear of the Cage, but we haven't seen it from IndieBear either, so I wouldn't be surprised they're saving it for opportune time. But the Pig will be the second band for Tsubaki, and who does IndieBear want to do? I mean, Grandpa's a hard one to get over.
Yeah, I mean, he knows now that that's an anaerobic bowler end. I think the reason why some players are running Grandpa is because they want to run anaerobic bowler end, but also still want the performance of a aerobic bowler end. So Grandpa, being only slightly weaker than bowler end in terms of base stats, it fits that role perfectly. But obviously, it's not quite the same, is it?
Yeah, not quite the same. And yeah, Blue, I actually realized, yeah, Tsubaki-chan not running any water Tems. I guess trying to apply the pressure with Stone Ball on the fire Tems or Noxious Bomb, I guess so.
Yeah.
Maybe Hashi Dashi from the pig.
Yeah, I think Tsubaki's logic here is that he doesn't really mind. Anaerobic Volerant can deal with it perfectly fine. With Tatru as well. Means you can pressure quite a bit on water Tems. They're usually quite squishy except Calibus, but Volerant doesn't care about Calibus too much.
Yeah, and just like that, here we go, game 2. I mean, game 1 was quite the feat to watch. We'll see if this game is anything like that. So Mashuk Volerant's getting things started for IndieBear. Tataru Mastion, we've seen that deadly combo before, but there's no tempt in too much damage, you know, too much pressure right now. I mean, anything into the Volerant before it starts setting up is good damage. As it was the Tem that won IndieBear the game last, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to double in on it. But the perfect jab Noxious Bomb is such a good combo there.
Yeah. My only concern is that if Indy sleeps on this hero Tatru, perfect jabs will come out, and that means Embers hit harder. Look at that! Kanye's already down a half just from that initial setup.
Yeah, so literally if it's a rinse and repeat from the last turn, the Volerant will die. So IndieBear has to know that. We might see we might see a switch out. Because neither opponent has the pressure, but just in terms of raw damage, I mean, Tsubaki-chan has that right now, so he would kill the Volerant. Now, Tsubaki-chan was running Cage. This is the time to use it.
This is the first time we've ever seen Cage on Tsubaki-chan used, so waiting for the final to say, ha! Joke's on you, I actually do have it! And in fact is running it. Viper Kinetic will do some decent damage onto Mash and won't kill, of course. But now Major Slash as well will do a lot of work here. Will it be lethal? It will!
Out goes. I didn't expect it to take over 50%, but man, Major Slash, we said before, Tataru's look, you know, he looks deceiving. Look at him. He's just standing still like he didn't do nothing. What did I do? What did I do? But he knows what he did. He just chunked the Volerant, the anaerobic Volerant, 50% out the window. Exactly. So back to the temp carries goes, man. Tataru is a truck.
Absolutely. The hero Tataru performing very well. Not only did it just get some decent buffs to its HP pool and its attack base, but also his kit is already pretty solid. But again, just a variety master, certainly being the best it can be. Beta Burst will chunk its face down quite a decent bit though, but being tanky is definitely gonna help.
And now the cage has disappeared for the time being. But don't tell me now IndieBear wants to overexert in Cage 2 from the Mashuk. We haven't seen it from the Mashuk. Mashuk can learn it. But keeping in the Kinu. Maybe the Kinu has grease though. It could be swapped out. But here comes that deadly prideful Raiken.
We do know that Raiken initially with Embers doesn't insta-give this Kinu. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Inner Spirit from Mashuk and Beta Burst from Kinu to pop the Tataru. But obviously the question is if there will be a double up from this Tataru Raiken, because defense is down on the Kinu.
Yeah, the defense is down, so you know something like Embers is gonna chunk. I would say something like 70%. It's already doing at least 50% sometimes. So with that 50% more, at least around 70.
Yeah.
We will find out. I'm curious to see if he wants to stay in with the Kinu. Of course, it does apply that pressure into the Tataru with that Beta Burst. Let's find out here, though. Okay, retreating the Mashuk. Out comes the Gyalis, straight up onto the Raiken. I'm actually impressed by this.
Understanding that the Raiken will never attack into the Gyalis spot, and again, Embers will apply the damage. Again, double up was required to deal with the Kinu there. as it's not enough for simply the Raikkonen to do it. Tataru even overexerts. I mean, he doesn't really care. Tataru has done its job once again as the hero Tem of this roster for Tsubaki.
Yeah, definitely doing so much work. Took care of the anaerobic roller and took care of the Kinu. Now, of course, the majority of the damage was done from the Raikkonen, but you know, sometimes it is who ends it. And Tataru ended it for the Kinu. So out comes the Mashuk.
Obviously, the Tataru overexerted, which means that it's pretty much helpless here if Indy wants to perfect jab into Haito. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to on this Raikkonen. That is a considerable amount of damage, especially since Raikkonen, it does not have Prideful applied, and every defense down is just more damage. Because you don't have to heat up the Gyalis. Technically, if you reduce the defense by 2, you're doing double damage as Gyalis.
It's almost the same, just a different way to get the same result, but down the speed goes. The Tataru is going to be recalled, so Pig Epic, where did this Mashuk choose to do it? It's gonna perfect jab the Raikkonen, so down the defense it goes, but it had to overexert just a tiny bit. But looks like the Gyalis didn't want to eat that meteor swarm, so good switch out there for IndieBear.
Yeah, it's even like the Mashuk was resistant to fire damage because it's barely been scraped, similar to the Rise. So perhaps Fire Tornado. He has Fire Flame, so obviously he can't really abuse the reduced defense. So I'm not sure how Indy wants to take this. Now an entire Tem down, especially now his only swap in is Gyalis, and it's not a very good swap in at this point.
Yeah, so final 3 Tems for IndieBear going up against the Tataru and the 3 Tems for Tsubaki-chan. So I mean, it is a Gyalis. He is really good against the majority of Tsubaki-chan's Tems, but it hasn't started setting up. There's no Kinu buffs on it anymore as Kinu went down at the hands of Tataru. And we'll get the turbos, so Vola gets some speed, Pig gets some speed. We'll get the Fire Flame. I kind of want to ask IndieBear, what's the strat? Why is he going for Fire Flame as opposed to Embers? I mean, someone told me before, when you have a good amount of special attack TVs, it kind of balances out as you do a little bit more. Since Fire Flame is a special attack instead of physical like Ember. But I always thought, you know, that 6% burn added a little bit more.
Yeah, well, 6% scales based on will scale up if you're attacking a, let's say, a Calibus, right? Obviously, you would rather have Embers because that's guaranteed 6%, but IndieBear may perhaps prefer flat damage, especially when they're not resistant, because that will, in fact, do more damage than if you Embers with Burn, I believe. So, again, it's just all about preference, I think, for IndieBear. Speaking of preference now, Tsubaki running that anaerobic Blurrin hasn't changed a bit.
Yep, has not changed, but the Mashuk will be changed out. In comes the Gyalis, so maybe trying to get a free turn, maybe for a heat up. We didn't see it last turn, but the Hypnosis gonna connect on the Gyalis, so you know, Gyalis is too good with the trait. Won't be sleeping for too long. Where's the Noxious Bomb going? Okay, into it, and actually does a good amount to the Rise.
Embers as well. Gonna do some decent damage. I'm surprised that the Rises Embers. Also, I just realized. Oh, never mind. I thought for a second there, I thought that Gyalis also resisted alert, but okay, that's not. It's all good.
It has alert right now.
Yeah,
well, I thought you were gonna say Rise is running Embers and Fire Flame, so not choosing either or. He's running both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Why not both? I mean, that's a lot of information, Tsubaki. That means he cannot possibly be running Roar and King's Roar at the same time. So this Volorend would be slightly more safe down the line, and we'll be able to do some decent damage. And but on the opposite end, right, the Gyalis can heat up for free.
Yeah, there's not too much pressure. I mean, he doesn't get the extra value play from getting the Kinu in there, but Gyalis is Gyalis nonetheless. So we'll see if he does opt to do this heat up here. And Tsubaki-chan's bowler start slowly but surely is going to start setting up. I mean, the speed is already there. Just one up on the special defense, I'm sure. I mean, the Tems on IndieBear's team are all physical based, so you know, he doesn't necessarily need that special defense. Well, besides Fire Flame, I guess.
Well, Rise is obviously has more special attack than flat attack, so, and also does not have access to Meteor Swarm. So all the Rise could do is Embers if he wants to do some decent damage to Volerant. So technically, it's still useful, but you'd rather not lose all your special attack necessarily, especially when there's Mashuk in the game where you could just jab them to death as well.
And there we go, not losing too much of the special attack before the hypo, but if he waited one turn, he would have got the +4. But there we go, Blue, like you said, we got the heat up from the Gyalis, and there we go, the roar. So I think we know all the moveset for the Rise, and so would Tsubaki-chan there. But yeah, 50% less damage on the Volerant is going to do so much work in the favor of IndieBear. It doesn't have to worry about too much.
Yeah, then even if the Raiken is swapped in, it will do 250% more damage, of course, because of the -1 defense. And Mashuk and Gyalis is just a deadly combo in that sense, because you can perfect jab into Haito, or Haito into perfect jab.
So yeah, I mean, the Gyalis could do a whole lot. Let's see. No, the pig first. So the pig gets at least one bamboozle onto the Volerant. There's no way Gyalis wants to, you know, crystal bite into the pig and perhaps kill it, even if it could. So we'll see. I mean, the +4 speed is going to be keeping the Volerant safe, I'm assuming. I mean, I think you overexert just to keep the Volerant safe with the bamboozle. But let's see what they decide to do. Alright, gonna be going out. Tataruin, is he gonna be eating an attack, or is the bamboozle gonna be protecting the Tataru?
Yep. At the moment, Tataru, I mean, will be eating anything that was supposed to be used by the Gyalis. Actually, Haito's the Pig Epic, rather than whatever that was swapped in. So Tataru might eat a Sharp Stabs here, actually.
Yeah, maybe just choosing to sack the Tataru might have just done the job. And it was the Volerant. He wanted to chunk the Volerant so that it could try to do, I mean, it's the one true damage dealer against the Volerant. But yeah, Tataru just trying to swap in there just in case it led all the attack into it. But yeah, like you said, Blue, it decided to go into the pig, so just doing some good damage into it. So I'm curious to see if Tataru is going to get off an attack. So the pig could overexert here. Actually, I didn't see if it overexerted last turn. I don't think it did. So maybe it overexerts here. Bamboozles Tataru. Mashuk is sleeping, so it's going to be eating a Sharp Stab from the Tataru, and then maybe a Stone Ball. Okay, pig retreats, so maybe it did overexert there. The Volerant comes out. So we get another switch for IndieBear the Rise, so down the speed goes, so the Volerant down to +2, I believe.
Yep, Raiken will be coming out here. Sharp Stabs will be eaten quite well. And obviously now the Gyalis has no stamina. The Raiken did eat that more than usual. Obviously -1 defense does help it a little bit.
Yeah, now Gyalis is fully out of stamina. And we did see last turn, so Baki-chan is running that Sand Splatter, so Little John Rise is not safe here. Usually Fire v Fire doesn't do too much damage, but Raiken Sand Splatter actually hitting quite hard against IndieBear's Rise. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we get, you know, Sand Splatter the Rise and then Noxious Bomb the Rise, because I would think without any stamina, there's no way the Gyalis is staying in, but the only switching is the Mashuk here. So getting close is about 30 seconds. So we could be getting a switch Gyalis for the Mashuk. But the Mashuk not going to be looking too good in the face of the Voliran. So yeah, going dangerously low on the reserve time here. Both players thinking carefully. If you're allotted the reserve time, might as well use it. Think very, very carefully. But Gyalis out of stamina, will be retreated. Out comes the Mashuk. So I think we get a double up on the Rise here. Okay, double. So, okay.
Oh, Feather Gatling. Yeah. I believe... we'll check the Mashuk stats for later, but Fire Tornado... gonna be fine. This is gonna be a bit of a slow burner here, no pun intended, due to the fact that, again, this Gyalis is probably the saving grace for the side of IndieBear, and he's gonna have to find ways to utilize it. The problem is that its stamina gain is a bit rough at the moment.
Yeah, we're still not seeing the stamina from the Mashuk. I think it works, the visual bug works. As soon as they do a move, it shows you the stamina. So maybe here, if we get another perfect jab on one of these Tems, we'll see what he's working with.
Yeah, I completely forgot the Mashuk has +1 defense, so that Fedagat did even less.
Okay, switching back into the Gyalis. Does it have a little bit of stamina? Maybe it's just trying to eat up an attack. It doesn't want the Mashuk to die just yet. So going a little under 50%. And we get the Roar, so -2 on the Voliran, -1 on the Raiken. But Fire Tornado special. Going to the Gyalis, how much is it going to do? There we go, 21%. So again, we don't get to see the stamina on the Gyalis. I mean, he could have something ready like Haido Uchi for the Raiken. And I don't think there's a move. I mean, Voliran exerted his Hypokinetic Strike already. So he only got physical based moves right now to try to handle the Gyalis. And with -2 attack, as we're seeing here, it's not going to be doing a whole lot.
Gyalis, yeah, eating that attack, fortunately, now dropping low. We'll see how it plays out, but it's not looking good enough for the side of IndieBear. Running out of time to get this Gyalis set up.
Alright, Voliran retreats, out comes the Pigapek. Sharp Stab into the big 1%. Oh! It actually would have been so detrimental, saved by the little bit of the health. So Little John will be eating the Fainted Curse. Called it calculated. We'll say it's calculated, but the Embers is enough to clean up the Gyalis. And
oh no, Prideful buff as well.
Yeah, the Prideful buff triggering, so I think it's gonna be one Sand Splatter should be enough to take care of Lil Jon. And yeah, the Voliran is still kicking, so it should be enough to take care of the Mashuk. This is a huge mountain to climb for IndieBear. It's definitely looking rough. I don't think there's anything he could do. Let's see where it goes. So Feather Gatling doubling up on the... Yep, and a Sand Splatter it is, cleaning up the Rise. So it's the Lonely Mashuk another prideful buff onto the Riken.
Absolutely. Now, IndieBear stuck with a single Mashuk to deal with Hyperkinetic is gonna do some decent damage as well. This even Parrier I don't think can really help it here. But Uppercut's gonna do some nice damage, but special attacks are Mashuk's weakness. Only 41 special defense to his name will secure that game, and we are now 1-1 in the final.
1-1, and shout out to my brother Zaf for the raid there. Thank you so much. And guys, I set up to these finalists, making it all the way past Swiss rounds, past the quarters, past the semis, and into the final game, the game 3 of our finals. IndieBear versus Tsubaki-chan one more time. I wish you guys the best. And yeah, man, play your hearts out just like you've been doing already. I know I don't have to tell you guys that. You guys do that on the daily. So Tsubaki will be banning the Wimplump. That he saw was such a threat the game 1, so I think it worked out quite well, Blue, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, IndieBear is sort of forced to ban the Gaialis. Remember, the only saving grace for Indie was that he shut that Gaialis down simply by having a Wimplump exist. But Tsubaki, understanding this, just picks up the Taru, but IndieBear opens differently this time. Opens with Kinu. Or would he open with Kinu previous game? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think he did, but yeah, I usually don't see it. You usually don't see the Kinu starting off, but not a bad start, as you know. You don't give too much information away. You still retain the counter pick in a way. So the fire start it is. Tsubaki loves his fire start. Mastion Riken is going to be the first 2 attempts to get things started here. Who does IndieBear want to... And yeah, but like you mentioned, Tsubaki's not running any water, but neither is Indie, despite the, except for the exception of Wimplump, which is banned. So doesn't have too much direct answers to this fire start here.
Exactly. At the moment, he could open with a Mashuk, but it's only a temporary answer. Unfortunately, no pants on screen on this Mashuk, which sometimes we see just to contest those fire types. Because although it does full damage, Parrier makes you feel like Mashuk takes no damage, obviously, because most fire types do attack.
Oh,
but we'll
dang.
open with double support. Whoa!
I've never seen this before, but IndieBear might know something we don't. We got the 2 support start. You know, Gaialis was probably the best bet right now, but staring at the face of these fire Tems is not the most ideal. So Kinu and Pig will be picked up for IndieBear. We'll see what IndieBear wants to ban next. He's eyeing the Grandpa. He's been banning the Pig, I believe. Oh no, he did. He's been banning the Volorant. No. Grandpa, I believe. So now it's time for Tsubaki to choose his next ban. I mean, based off the games, what's been giving them the most trouble. I mean, with this fire start and potentially a pickup for Taru, I wouldn't be too worried about the Gaialis. I may be looking at that Rise, maybe the Volorant.
Yep. Well, Tsubaki losing the Grandpa as well. I mean, IndieBear obviously just removing any potential threats of high DPS. I mean, we've already seen Tsubaki doesn't really need that sort of high DPS. He can get that straight out of Riken and Volorant just fine. At this point in time, Tsubaki will be a decent ban. Bans the Volorant. He knows that Volorant is anaerobic, but still removes it. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, I guess just in terms of, you know, a good threat. But picks up the Mashuk. So not a lot of options remain for IndieBear. You got the Gaialis, you got your 2 fire attempts. So scooping up the Rise here. So leaving it open for this last pick here.
Kinu or Pig, this is an important choosing for Tsubaki. Both are amazing in this fight, but only one can be available as he picked up the Taru, the hero Taru, of course, that got him to the finals. To deal some decent damage, especially against the Gaialis if it does choose to reveal itself. And for the side of Indie, I think the choice right now is he either plays a hero Gaialis or a hero Bastion, because he is right now 3 supports. So Gaialis will be Mr. President for IndieBear. We'll see if this is enough for the final game. Plus,
yeah, let's do it. We are here live with our finals, game 3. You usually don't see it. Somebody is coming through with a better team and you see a quick ender, but no, these players are so well experienced. They're actually teammates, I believe, so they probably scrim here and there. So they do understand each other's play styles and maybe each other's teams as well. But yeah, we're getting things started and we have an unconventional start. We got the Kinu and the Pig to get things started for IndieBear. And then we seen this is quite familiar for Tsubaki, the Riken and the Mastion. So yeah, both of these Tems are feeling the heat for Indie.
Biggie and Mohammed ready for a fight here. I'm not sure how long they'll stay Pig Epic. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tsubaki just wanted to shut down the Pig Epic here. Either way, Tsubaki will get some decent damage off. Obviously, Cage is not available, but obviously next turn. Now we know that Tsubaki is Cage. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to cage whatever he doubles up in. So we'll see how this plays out. Rise comes out here to slow it down, and Indie will be running these triple supports like a circus, juggle them about, because that's what he really needs here.
We get the Kinu on the side of Tsubaki. Up goes the defense and special defense of the Riken. We'll get a quick bamboozle on itself, so keeping itself safe. Probably predicting that Embers onto the Pig, as was most likely the better play there. So no Tems taking damage for this turn 1.
Absolutely. I mean, he predicted that correctly to fight there. With Rise on the field, I'm not sure if Kinu is staying very long. Obviously, you can swap into that Tataru, Stone Ball available, as well as that Embers. Obviously, I'm blanking. Rise. The Rise will not be affected by the Embers, but still Stone Ball is such a decent amount of damage.
Yes, good amount of damage going into the Rise if he does choose to do it and keep it on the board. But yeah, the Kinu's here. I mean, Kinu does not apply too much pressure. The pressure is Riken still has that sand splatter, and you know the attack's not down. Oh no, wait, the attack wasn't down the previous games. It was the defense. But yeah, the sand splatter was doing, you know, little by little. It would probably take like 5 sand splatters to get the better of the Rise. So maybe that's a strat. We'll see if the Pig was trying to protect it, but nope, the Pig is gonna be swapping out. And out comes the Gaialis.
Coming out to play Hypnosis, and India reads it perfectly. Gets that Hypnosis to do as little, and I'm sure this Riken isn't focused on that Gaialis. Tries to deal some damage on the Rise. We'll do a little bit, but I think Little John gets the better of that trade.
Yeah, however, the Gaialis is out here now, but Riken is still here, so Riken still does so much. I mean, I don't see IndieBear. He does got Kinu. Maybe he wants to switch it out for Little John, get a little buff on the Gaialis. But Riken's still going to be, you know, one Ember should be chunking at least 30% or more from the Gaialis. But of course, on the other hand, if we don't get a heat up there, the Kinu is in danger of potentially going down at the hands of this Gaialis. But we'll see. Does IndieBear want to heat up? I mean, he's not technically safe, but it might be the long-term value play. Kinu retreats. Who's coming out? It's Mastion, so back to the fire, bros.
Absolutely, and Gaialis leaves as his opportunity is up, and Pig will be eating whatever Ember, whatever Riken is deciding to spit out. Roar is so good here on both
so good.
Fear Swarm will do some decent damage, but look at that! Pig is unfazed, and so is Little John.
Definitely, man, that 50% reduction in attack for both the Riken and the Mastion that value their attacks so much. That's actually such a good play from Little John there. You usually want to do it. You usually want to save those for the Vuln, but anytime you can get it on something like Mastion and Riken too, it's huge value. But yeah, the Pig came out, ate the Meteor Swarm like a champ.
I mean, this Biggie is certainly not very small, as right now, very beefy. Has Bamboozle applied. I won't be surprised if he prioritizes survival of the Pig Epic rather than the Riken here, because let's be honest, I don't think Mastion and Riken are going to do very much damage to the Rise. Unless, of course, Major Slash from Mastion will do a decent chunk, but still, it's not as big a threat as losing the Pig Epic. Indy is, again, juggling triple supports like a circus, and he will have to perform for us if he wants to stay in this.
But Mastion will be retreating for now. Out comes the Kinu, so double protector buff on this Riken. This is one stack Riken without any prideful buff just yet, but Ashi dashing into the Kinu, so good prediction there. He wanted to get the value play with the Mastion, but you know, covers his bases, gets the Fire Flame on the Kinu as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Embers doesn't apply on the Piggy. Biggie has Pantheon screen on, and Kinu now threatened by Fire Flame or Fire Tornado. Obviously, Indy probably doesn't want to waste a lot of stamina, so Fire Flame probably going to come out soon. Biggie swap out. I wouldn't be surprised to show the Gaialis again. Of course, Kinu has access to Hypnosis, so if Tsubaki wants to play this song and dance, I'm sure Indy is welcome to oblige.
Yeah, indeed, and look at those stats on the Riken so far. Is looking strong. No too many stats except for the one protector buff on the Pig here. Well, Riken's running out of stamina, so he could be coming out unless he wants to just rest. But here comes the CEO of Temtem, is the Tataru.
Yeah, he's here to party. And that Rise swap actually predicted a decent swap out, because now Gaialis is in it. I'm not sure if Pig Epic is staying though. Riken is not staying either. And Wesick is gifting 10 subs. What the heck is happening?
Let's go. That's the only excuse that we can do. Two guys, hype in the chat. Thank you so much, Wes, for the 10 gifted subs. You are a mad man. Thank you guys for that. And guys, if you just received a sub from Wes, first, give him a huge thank you. And then secondly, welcome to the Plus Pack. Wes, you are insane. Thank you so much, Wes. You know I would do it for no other reason than this. Wes, thank you so much, man. Yeah, back to the game though. Blue, you started before me.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the action. Yeah, the Volerant being swapped in for Tsubaki. I believe there's like some weird ping issues, not spectating at the same time. It's whatever. EA, but anyways, the Volerant being swapped in here and Gaialis being swapped in means that there is actually no punish here for the Gaialis being applied that Bamboozle as well. Hypnosis accessible by Biggie could just sleep the Tataru. Tataru is not faster than Pig Epic by any means. The speed is just not in his favor, so I wouldn't be surprised if Heat Up is free here.
Yeah, I think the Heat Up is a play. I think Hypnosis may be on the Volerant because the Volerant would attack first since Stoneball is so slow. But decides to switch. Now keeping the Pig healthy. Now 2 protector buffs are in the way for the Pig. And yeah, the Hypnosis on the Bird, I thought that was clearly the play to do. Because the Stoneball would attack last, so that would have connected on the non-Bamboozle target.
Absolutely. Kinu eating that for free. IndieBear is playing this. I mean, obviously the best of his abilities. Look at this game. It's so freaking close, as just a lot of juggling coming out, and by the end of this early game we will see someone with better stats. In fact, it looks like IndieBear gonna fall short a little bit here, will not get the Rise setup he wants. He might have wanted the Turbo Choreograph instead.
Yeah, not a bad idea since the Pig does have that Hypnosis. So it seems like we have a couple fans in the house for IndieBear. Of course, we always have a lot of fans for Tsubaki-chan too. I'm rooting for both players. I think they're really great. So we'll see who edges out who in this match. As you're saying, Blue, Indy's doing a fantastic job juggling these supports as well as the Gaialis. In and out they go, but we get a turbo for Tsubaki-chan on his side. So +2 speed for the Volerant, for the Kinu. Bamboozle it is, so keeping it safe. I don't think we got a Heat Up just yet, right, Blue?
No, it has not heated up at all yet. This Gaialis playing the juggle game as well, but I don't think you really want to juggle your Gaialis. That's probably the least ideal target to juggle around. And right now, Skepta is gonna be skeptical of staying in, just in case Double Fire comes back out. This Kinu has so much profit right now, has applied his buff 3 times versus IndieBear's twice. Of course, the twice was quite solid. Still, he has to deal with this Kinu somehow, otherwise it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, he definitely has. I mean, he does have the answer with the anaerobic Volant. You know, those Noxious Bomb will get the better of Kinu in about 2 hits or so. Most likely 2 hits. But yeah, just not finding the right moment to pull that trigger. You know, the Kinu's not being left on the board long enough. But here's the guys. I mean, if there's a time to heat up, I think it's right now, Blue. I really do. You know, I don't think the Feather Gatling is going to be doing too much. Or the Hypo.
Do some decent damage, not, as you mentioned, not a lot. Bamboozle is applied on the Gaialis, just wants to keep that alive, but definitely Biggie's going to be leaving fairly soon.
Right.
Tried to take out the Kinu, but again, just falls straight into Tsubaki-chan's play. Again, both players just maneuvering each other like 2 ships in the night. Unfortunately, there's a lighthouse in between them, so they can clearly see each other.
Or Tsubaki had the lighthouse, so he clearly saw it. And switched to Riken to eat up. Look at that. Didn't even do 10% from a Crystal Bite. Of course, it wasn't heated up, Gialis, but still eating it so well, as it was 2 protector buffs from the Kinu.
Moment. Now, currently, Skepta and Biggie in a situation where both very strong DPS Temtems can do some chunk damage, Riken especially.
Yeah, I could definitely do a good amount, but Hypnosis come out. Where is it going? It's going to the Volant, so it won't be getting to pop the Bamboozle, so it's gonna have to take the Riken to pop the Bamboozle if it was directed to it. So now we get the heat up.
Meteor Swarm gonna come out here, but remember, this does very little damage. I mean, 12% is 12%. Biggie overexerted as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Rise and Kinu swap in here. The question is how and where setup.
Yeah, so Volant is done for, or he's not done. He's sleeping for just his following turn, but Gialis is running out of stamina. Any move at this stamina state will leave him overexerted, so maybe he's going to be pulling it out for just a second. The Mashuk though, Blue, hasn't touched the board yet. I wonder what he's saving it for. Or did it touch?
Next game.
I think it did touch because it did a perfect jab on the Riken, right? Oh,
yes,
no, it didn't.
That was the last game. That was the last game.
Mm-hmm.
The Mashuk is being saved for the rainy day, and I think the rainy day is when this Volant needs to be checked, or perhaps, again, once this Masion and Riken take too many hits on their attack due to Roar, there's nothing they can do. They can't heat up. They cannot footwork, I believe. No, not footwork. Footwork increases defense. But regardless, right? Neither of them can increase their attack. If by some reason the support Rise gets to get them to -3, -4, the Mashuk feels invincible. He just punches them straight up.
Yeah, definitely. So Indie or Tsubaki taking their time, what they want to do. So the pig is going to be pulled out. Let's see if he keeps the Gialis in. I'm interested to see if he wants to overexert to try to do some damage on the Volant, but nope, we get the double switch from IndieBear. And now comes the Rise, so lowering the speed on both of these Tems one more time. Let's check out the speed when we can.
And 10% on top of the Embers, of course, 6% applied. But still, we just see how little Mashuk really cares about that Ember Strike. And now Roar is guaranteed pretty much. Riken is probably leaving here. Otherwise, Tsubaki will be eating quite a bit of reduction.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, it's super valuable on that Volderen. But we'll see. Yeah, like you said, I think the Riken will be switched out. Tadru might be coming in. Maybe a Kinu protector buff onto the Volderen. However, maybe if Indie predicts that, maybe an Ember onto the Kinu slot would definitely kill the Kinu. So maybe that's not the play to do. But man, both of these players playing it super safe. They know what's on the line. This is game 3. The winner here will get all the glory. And there we go, 50 seconds left on the reserve. So they gotta think hard, but they gotta think relatively quickly here. Voldren's gonna be retreated.
Oh. I am so surprised. Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say, if he left both fire types into the King's Roar, I would have been extremely shocked. But this time, he's increasing the Master's defenses, just making sure both these fire temp will be safe and secured, but defense instantly negated by the Mashuk, and there we have it, Roar. Now this Mastion at -2 attack. Remember, there's no way to get this back. There is no way this Mastion gets attacked back.
Yeah, usually he's a harder hitting physical damage dealer, but not in this game 3. However, I mean, yeah, usually the one dealing damage to the Gyalis, so it's gonna be, you know, taking a lot less damage. And as I just mentioned, IndieBear still has that Gyalis in his back pocket, so saving it for the right time. The stamina isn't right there, as I think it's been in the back line for at least 2 to 3 turns, so it would definitely have a little bit more stamina than just that. But the Kinu is here. I'm curious to see if he wants to keep the Kinu in there. There's not too much value in keeping the Kinu in there, as it probably does get one shot by Embers from the Rise.
Yeah. This is a bit interesting right now. Cage actually forces these Temps locked in here, refuses to let them leave. And obviously Kinu has Grease out, so Kinu will be swapping out. That's actually a very effective use of Cage. Allows him to maneuver one temp for another, but it looks like Indy had no intentions of leaving, and will double up on the Voldren.
Yeah, did not do any kind of switches. I mean, he's still healthy, he still has full stamina, so yeah, attacking he will. So perfect jab doing a little bit of work to the Voldren. So it did have a protector buff, but negated now, back to even defense. So Ember's just doing normal damage, but hypokinetic on the Mashuk. Where are we going with this? Over to the 40%. Another perfect jab. Now we're in the negative range. Down the defense. Ember should be doing a little bit more now. So just targeting this Voldren little by little.
Embers comes out as well, but
-2 attack, man. You never see a Mastion hit that low, but there it is.
King's Roar is available again, and currently at -2 defense. Uppercut will kill this Voldren.
Yeah, -2 defense. I definitely do think it's gonna kill. Oh, sorry, -1. I forgot the protector buff.
It's -1. Yeah. So correction. It will not kill Voldren here. He will have to double up to kill the Voldren, but still, that is extremely dangerous. The Mastion again -2. If Indy predicts or if he thinks Riken will come in, he could roar, and then suddenly -3, and it's so crazy how close it's getting. Round 15, we're in the mid game, ladies and gentlemen.
And all 5 Tems are still alive, but another Cage. Let's see if IndieBear wanted to switch out. So Mashuk got trapped. Feather Gatling, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. So the Mashuk wanted to switch out, but Cage showing how strong this ultra priority is. Feather Gatling gets the better of Mashuk, and there we go. Roar is a good one to go. -3 on the Mastion, -1 for the Voldren.
-3 Mastion. Now Gyalis obviously heated up. That stamina is bugged. He is at maximum stamina and is ready to rock and roll.
Oh man, one sharp stab definitely gets the better of that Voldren there. One Hidouchi. Oh no, it's not minus defense, it's minus attack. I was about to say, probably gets it if it was -3 defense for Mastion, because this is a heated up Gyalis. So yeah, like you said, Blue, this is a little bit of a visual bug. It's not at 19.6. It's definitely a full stamina, so it's ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another heat up, but it might be a little greedy though. What do you think, Blue?
Another heat up would mean that he will not be susceptible to the Mastion. Obviously, Mastion is slower, so I think extra heat up would be fine here actually. Otherwise, if Tsubaki thinks an attack is coming, obviously the swap out will be potentially threatening, but this is so risky. If IndieBear gets another heat up off, Tsubaki's in a spot where neither of his fire temps are actually doing very much damage against a Gyalis, which doesn't care, right? The Gyalis has resistance, which means it doesn't take any burn damage from embers, which means you have to burn it with the double damage. And it is so interesting to see how Tsubaki and Indie play this, because they are playing on margins very thin.
Yeah, it's insane to see it. We can't look at the battle log. These buffs and debuffs are all over the place. These guys are maneuvering so well. They know exactly what they want to get done. So we'll see. I mean, the Rise is still on the board. I mean, the Volrent has to be stayed in. So, you know, a double up on the Volrent kills it. If anything, just one attack onto the Volrent from a sharp stab or something probably kills it too. I don't think the Hidouchi's is live this turn though, right? It just got on the board.
Yeah, sorry, the Mashuk died. I believe no, it did get a heat up off, so which means that it swapped out with all hold moves unleashed. So it should have everything activated.
Okay.
At the moment. Otherwise he gets another heat up off. Logically, I don't think that makes sense. Okay, it looks like the spectator mode has broke again, because
did it really?
Yeah, it broke again. The timer reached 0, which means we spectate jump back in. What's happening? Someone died? Okay, no, it's not. Volrent had lived at 1.8% HP. The Mastion did in fact deal some damage onto Skepta, aka the Gaialis.
What did we get? What attack did that? Did we get a sharp stab maybe? I think the stamina here, that's not Crystal Bite stamina, that's not Hido, that had to be a sharp stab. He thought the sharp stab was going to do enough to the Volrent, but living at 1.8% here. But it looks like Mastion took some damage too. I wonder, or maybe I'm tripping.
Oh no, Mastion got high-toed and Volrent got fire tornadoed, and Volrent survived at 1.8% HP.
How did you see that, Blue? Or are you just assuming?
Oh, just assuming. He is alerted.
Okay,
which
yeah,
means that he had to sleep. Yeah,
very, very good observation, Blue. So he was alerted that Hidouchi did connect to the Mastion. So yeah, and I think the Gaialis ate embers from the Mastion as well, as it has a little bit less.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not a big embers.
Yeah. I mean, you can see exactly why the punishment of Mastion having so little attack, right? It's -3. It did 20% damage at double damage. So it's such a rough spot.
So out comes the Volrent. Man, that would have been a huge play to get rid of the bird, but sometimes things do not work as you plan them. But out comes the Gaialis too, so we get the switch, double switch indeed, for IndieBear. We get Pig and Kinu just like they start off, so 3 protector buffs onto the Pig. Usually you want your Pig to die, but in this situation he's a little bit become...
What?
And Pansun screen. Okay, that's why we didn't get the burn. Pansun screen on the Pig.
Yeah, bear in mind, IndieBear refuses to let anything die. He is running triple supports, and his other Temtem, aka Mashuk, is dead, which means that he has to juggle triple support and a Gaialis. There is no other win condition here. If his support chain falls apart, he has to keep Gaialis in, and that is what Tsubaki is hunting for. He wants the opportunity to just catch the Gaialis off guard. But Rise, Pig Epic, and Kinu just doing an amazing job, just preventing any shenanigans. Now speed down again. They're so slow.
Super slow. I think this is making a little bit of the difference maker for IndieBear. Just that speed, it really matters so much. Who gets to, you know, move first, right? Especially in situations where it's margins, really razor thin margins sometimes. But Meteor Storm pops out. The Bamboozle won't be connecting the Pig, or you know, the Bamboozle keeping damage. The connection.
Yeah, at the moment, 5% damage from Meteor Swarm. I am worried that this Raiken will just be a walking pillow by the time this fight is over. I believe, again, every time they swap out, the stamina is bugged. They should have King's Roar available for Indie, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Tornado was coming out on the Kinu's position. Tadaru is unscathed as well, so there's a lot of opportunities here. But both these players, I do not blame them for playing this safe, but they have 11 rounds to go.
Yeah, we might be going into a turn 30. I mean, Tsubaki-chan still with the 5 Tems. Kinu's dangerously low, so Kinu's gonna be retreated. Let's see if IndieBear predicted this. Are we gonna get the roar you just spoke of, Blue? Let's find out. Okay, but the Raiken's out. Maybe the Volan back in. Rise wouldn't be too bad though.
A roar here, yeah, as you mentioned,
That's
a roar
what I
here
meant.
wouldn't be
That's
too
what I
bad.
meant,
Yeah.
A roar.
Yeah, there it goes. -4 attack Bastion. Oh, this poor boy does no damage. Guys, if you don't know, Bastion is currently doing half its total damage.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane how much reduction it has done to the Bastion. That Bastion won't be applying any sort of pressure. It's just there to take some damage at this point.
Oh, sorry, correction. It's doing 33% of its damage right now. It is doing a third of what it's supposed to do right now. This is so disgusting. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and what's funny is that the pig has 3 protector buffs, so Cage won't be hitting the pig, so that's free to move. I don't think the Rise care too much, but wait a minute though, Cage on the Volan, so just choosing to keep the Volan in for the time being. And Bastion had to actually overexert to pull off the Cage there.
Toxic Plume though, gonna get Biggie closer and closer to the grave. But Fireflame will secure that kill on Volan. Bastion is going to be asleep for the next round, though, as well as overexerted. Which means this Bastion not only caged, but also utterly useless, regardless.
Yeah, I think the move there, I think the Cage was to break the Bamboozle and then for the Toxic Plume to connect with the pig. I think that was the use of Cage there. I think he was fine sacking the Volan at 1 HP. You're not going to be doing a whole lot, especially with the Demoralize kicking in there too. But man, Little John doing so much. Can we get a yeah? Where's the little John? Yeah! I can't do it. Yeah! Can we get a Little John? I wish I had a soundboard for him at this point. Okay, okay.
Okay. The Kinu's gonna come out. Yeah. As Kinu has gotten its money's worth. Right now, both Fire Tems really tanky, but I'm not sure how effective that will be, considering that I'm concerned, because Tataru fighting Kinu feels really bad as the Tataru, especially with Gaia still available. Tsubaki his grip on this game is slipping, and I'm sure he can also feel it.
Yeah, little by little, as little inches, like little inches of momentum heading towards IndieBear's. But as you mentioned, the Kinu's still healthy, so the Kinu is still there because the Tataru's been in the back pocket the whole time for Tsubaki, so it's just chilling there. Fireflame cleaning up the Kinu, so Kinu going down. One more attempt down for Tsubaki-chan.
Forcibly overexerted the Rise though, which is a good thing, because now the Kinu will have to be swapped in for the Gaialis, or the Rise have to be swapped in for the Gaialis if he wants to keep the Rise in. Both Raiken and Bastion now available though. I wouldn't be surprised if he just wished the Pig a second right now. The Pig Epic has basically done its job. Kinu surviving is amazing here, because right now Bastion at -4 and Raiken at -1. It's gonna make it rough. Every time Raiken gets a kill, he will get his attack back, and that's not what you want. Especially since Rise, Little John right now, is exhausted.
Yeah, won't be doing much. I'll be surprised if we get another Cage, keeps the Little John in. I think the Kinu has grease, so he's gonna be fine. But yeah, not a lot to work on the back line for IndieBear. Of course, we got the pig, we got the Biggie Pig. That would obviously be the play for the Bastion, but it wouldn't actually kill the Bastion just yet.
Bastion at -4. I would dare say ignore it, but it's so risky to ignore a Temtem like that. Yes, it does like a third of its damage, but a third of its damage times 2 is still, I mean, something, I guess.
And revitalizing on the Kinu, understanding, wow, a third of his damage and still doing so much to the Kinu. That's so impressive how strong Bastion is. But Fire Tornadoes down the Kinu too. If Kinu dies, who's taking down Tataru?
The question will now be revealed because Fire Tornado does absolutely not enough. Raiken, remember, his special attack goes down when he evolves, not up for some reason. So Rise technically has more special attack. I mean, if that was coming from a Rise, yeah, sure, we would say, oh, Kinu's dead there. But just goes to show the difference between a support Rise and a tank Raiken. Just the damage output from certain abilities are just surprising.
Yeah, you know, I thought Indy had a firm grip, but it's looking, it might be slipping here or there. I mean, the Raiken is still super healthy. There's not a direct answer to the Raiken. Of course, the Hideuchi from Gyalis is going to be doing a good amount. But, I mean, the Tataru's still there. Kinu's dangerously low. One attack from any Tem from Tsubaki-chan's side will get enough to deal with the Kinu, so... yeah, man, this one's still super close to call, but Kinu staying in, so going after the Mastion, maybe thinking the switch was there, and we get the roar, max down the speed of attack for Mastion.
Meteor Swarm comes out though, and that will literally do no damage to Little John. He takes 4% damage from the Mastion, as it also uses all of its stamina. Kinu falls, but that's a good thing because now Raiken can't steal buffs, and Meteor Swarm traded in and still does nothing to Little John.
Yeah, this is insane because I don't know why IndieBear chose to keep in the Kinu there. I mean, the Tataru still in the back is still at 100%. Maybe the Rise could be good enough, but Tataru has Stone Ball though. That deals with the Rise. Maybe the Gyalis is here to deal.
I mean, if you can Perma Bamboozle, I guess that's an option. The Mastion right now, completely useless. I wouldn't be surprised if Tsubaki just let it take a hit for the sake of stamina drain. As Raiken with Embers will still do some damage. There is no Roar. There is -2 from attack from the Raiken, but still, that's a Raiken with some decent buffs to its name. It's so close to call, and there's 6 rounds to go.
6 rounds to go. In terms of the health advantage, the collective health is favoring Tsubaki-chan. Maybe he's playing towards that out right now. So here goes the pick. Crystal Bite onto the Mastion, guaranteed the kill. Of course, it was overexerted, so no pressure was coming out from that, but Embers connects, going around 36%. We don't get the burn from resistant.
And the overexertion for the Raiken, that's actually so horrible, because now the Tataru has to come in to a Gyalis that's faster than it. This is so rough.
And the pick's still there. I mean, so 40% damage. I mean, I think we saw Pansun screen, so you gotta do raw damage to the pig to take it down. So one of these Tems essentially is gonna be going down 40%, right? The Little John, the Rise is still in the back. Man, this one's close. I mean, clearly the health advantage is on the board, but the Bamboozle is here. We'll see. Okay, Hideuchi on the Tataru. No Stone Ball coming out this turn.
The Raiken overexerted, it's forced to rest here. The Tataru might get pummeled down here, but if this is so close. The Raiken and Tataru, we both know, is slower, so you can't really stack Bamboozles on the Gyalis. The question is if Stone Ball will be enough, and it potentially will be. Indy has to decide.
I mean, the only thing Indy got's going for him, I think the speed on the pig is definitely faster than every single Tem on Tsubaki-chan's board, the Raiken and the Tataru, so we did see the Hypnosis, I believe. So maybe we could lock down the Raiken, and the Bamboozle will not have the connection from the Stone Ball for the Tataru, so that could be a little bit of a saving grace for Indy. However, if he wants to, you know, throw an attack onto the pig now,
Rise slows down the Raiken again. Oshidashi actually into the Tataru just to do as much damage as possible. I'm surprised. Will Stone Ball will kill the Rise here.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. And actually, both Tems going down. It looks like Tsubaki-chan, there's no way Tsubaki can lose this. It's just one Gyalis. There's no Bamboozle. I know Hideuchi was just used So I think this is all she wrote. IndieBear played it so well. But Riken's running out, so maybe he might rest, but we might see the stone ball one more time from Tataru. This was a hell of a game. Crystal Bite, is it going to be enough? It is heated up. Ooh, going to 6%.
No, it's
that
not.
rock shield. Without that rock shield, definitely would have died, but the stone ball will be cleaning things up. An absolutely incredible game, Blue, man.